Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, welcome to the course of Big Data Concepts. Today we will discuss lecture number 13, and the main topic of the lecture is XML. This is your teacher Tariq Aziz, lecturer at Institute of IT, Kohat University, HANGU-CAMPUS. So let's move on to the agenda. Dear students, in today's lecture, first of all, we will discuss that what is XML, what is XML database, what are the types of XML database, and finally we will discuss that if we want to query the XML database, then which sort of query language we will use. For this purpose, the XML query language is used, and shortly it is known as XQuery. Okay, so now move on to the first topic, which is the introduction of XML. That what is XML? Dear students, I hope that you people are familiar with the term, but if not, not a problem. We will introduce the XML here. So it's a extensible markup language. The short name is XML, while the detailed name is the extensible markup language, and it's a markup language like HTML, and XML is used for storing and transportation of data, or we can say that it was designed to store and transport data. Now the final point, it says that it was also designed to be self descriptive. So XML documents are self descriptive, and we will look at the XML documents on the next slide. Now, dear students, what do you mean by the XML databases? Actually, it's just like a document-oriented database, or we can say that it's a flavor of document-oriented databases. And we already discussed this document-oriented database in detail in the previous lecture. This the document oriented database, actually it's a category of NoSQL database. So with respect to NoSQL databases, we discussed 4 to 5 types. The one of them is the document oriented database, another one is the graph database, the column based database, and the key value based database. So all these NoSQL databases, we already discussed them in detail in the previous lecture. I would suggest that you should revise your concept regarding all these databases. But here, with respect to XML database, it says that it's a flavor of the document-oriented database, and document-oriented database is basically the category of NoSQL database. Okay, now why we use XML database? It's basically used to store huge amount of information, but in the XML format. Dear students, remember that we are dealing with big data. We are discussing big data, so we know that we have to deal with huge amount of data. So if you people want to store huge amount of data, then one of the database is the XML database. You can use them to store huge amount of data, but the format will be XML format. So you can store all these information or data in XML format. Now, okay, we have our database, but what about the query language? How we will extract information from the XML database? For this purpose, we will use a query language which is known as XQuery. It will serialize, it will export data into the desired format. So to query the XML database, we will use the query language which is known as XQuery. Now, dear students, there are two types of XML database. One of them is known as XML enabled database, while the other one is known as the native XML database, or shortly it is known as NXT. So what is the XML enabled database? It is the extension, and it is provided for the conversion of XML document. The XML enabled database is just like the relational database, where you will use the tables, or where the data is stored in tables, and we know that tables consist of rows and columns. These tables, what they contain? They contain set of records, which in turn consist of fields. So it's very easy. This Let me summarize uh, in one point that the XML enabled database is same as relational database, and we already discussed relational database in detail, that we use relational tables in this database, and these table consist of rows and columns, and then these tables contains a set of records, which in turn contains the fields. Okay. Now, dear students, the second type of the XML database is the native XML database. Okay, it works like a container, or it is based on container rather than table format. So, in XML database, the concept of a container is used. It doesn't use the table format. Okay. Now, if you want to store large amount of XML document and data, then the best choice is the native XML database. Uh, Here it says in the fourth point that the native XML database has an advantage over the XML enabled database. And I think now this point is clear, that if we want to store large amount of XML document and data, then the best choice is the native XML database. If we have to choose between the XML enabled database and native XML database, so we have to the best option is the native XML database. So this is the advantage over the XML enabled database. And in the last point it says that native XML database, it is highly capable to store, query and maintain the XML document than XML enabled database. So this is the advantage which native XML database has over XML enabled database. But as we discussed that we are dealing with big data, so which one database we will use? We will use native XML database because we are dealing with big data, and we said that native XML database is used to store large amount of data and documents. So that's why we will use this database for big data. Okay. Now, dear students, uh, this was about the XML and XML database and its types. Now, if we have to query the XML database, what sort of query language we will use? For this purpose, we will use the XML query language, which is shortly known as XQuery. Okay. So here a little bit introduction of XQuery. That what is this? It says that it's a powerful and convenient query language, and it was designed to process XML data, or we can say that it's a functional query language. And if we want to extract or retrieve information from XML database, then we can use this language, and we can retrieve information which are stored in XML format. Now, this query language, it can be used to extract information to use in a web service, and we can also use this query language to generate summary reports. It can also used to transform the XML data into XHTML. And finally, XQuery language can also be used to search web documents for relevant information. So all these are the usage of the XQuery language, or we can say that this is the basic theme or introduction of XQuery language. Now, dear students, from now on, we will use this query language, and we will look at different queries and their expected results. So before going into the detail, we have to look at the XML document. Now here, the XML document, first of all, which document we will process, are we will apply our queries on which XML documents. So if you look at the example here, this is our XML document, and the name of this XML document is books.xml. Basically, we will apply queries on this document, and then we will extract information according to our need. Okay, so this document is related to books. Okay, now the here this is the XML version 1.0 and encoding some extra information. Now the root node is the bookstore. Okay, then the category of the book, the first category of a book is cooking. And then what's the title of the book? Everyday Italian. This is the title of the book. Look at the title. Okay, then who is the author? This is the author of the book. What is the publishing year? So 2005 is the publishing year. What's the price of the book? 30.00. Now another book category is children. Okay, what's the title of the book? Harry Potter. Who is the author? J.K. Rowling. What's the publishing year? 2005. And what's the price of the book? 29.99. Then again we have another book. The category of the book is web. What is the title of the book? This is the title of the book. And then who are the authors? We have multiple authors here. Okay, this is the publishing year 2003, and this is the price of the book. Finally, we have another category of book. Again, it is web. What is the title of the book? Learning XML. Who is the author? Eric T. Ray. And what's the publishing year? 2003. And what's the price of the book? 39.95. So this is our XML document which contains information regarding books. Now we will perform multiple queries on this XML document, and we will extract information according to our need. So, but okay, now the first query is regarding the selection of nodes from this XML document. For this purpose, it says that X queries uses functions to extract data from XML documents. And in this case, what sort of particular function we used? The doc function we used to open the books.xml file. So this is our file. This is our XML document. If we want to open this document, then which function we will use? We will use doc function. So if you look at the function name doc, inside parentheses we wrote the name of our document, which is books.xml. Now when this function is executed, our document will open. Okay, now dear students, what is the path expressions? What do you mean by path expression? It says that this query language, it uses path expressions. Why? To navigate through elements in an XML document. Okay, now if you go back to the XML document, here we have different elements. Okay, we have title, we have author, we have year, we have price. All these are called elements of the XML document. Now if we want to navigate through these elements inside the XML document, then what we have to do? We have to use the path expressions. How we will use this? Look at the example here. This is the way, this is our first query. So this is the way of writing path expressions. Now it says that in the second point, that the following path expression is used to select all the title elements in books.xml file. If you go back to the file, then look at the titles. So we have title here, then we have title here, we have title here. We have a lot of title elements inside this document. Now if we want to select all these title elements, then this is the query. Okay, you have to write query like this. Okay, now what is a slash bookstore here? It says that slash bookstore, it will select the bookstore element, or it selects the bookstore element. Then what is slash book? Slash book selects all the book elements under the bookstore element. Okay, now as we said that the bookstore element is our root node. Okay, so under this root node we have a node book. So slash book, it will select, or slash book selects all the book elements under the bookstore element. Then finally we have the title element. Okay, slash title selects all the title elements under each book element. Okay, now if you go back to the XML document, then first of all we have slash bookstore element. This is our root node slash bookstore, and inside this element we have all the books element. Okay, we have all the books element under this root node. Okay, under this bookstore element, and then under book elements we have title elements. So if you look at the title elements, then it's under book element. Okay, now if we want to retrieve all the titles, then what will be the query? This is the query. You have to write the query like this. Okay, so what's the a result of the query? Dear students, this is the expected result of the query. So if you look at the titles, then this query returned all the titles of the books. Look at the first title, Everyday Italian, the second, Harry Potter, the third, this, and the fourth, this. If you go back to the document, then the first title is Everyday Italian, the second title is Harry Potter, the third title is this one, and the final title is this one. So if you look at the result of the query, then this query returned all these titles. Okay, so this was our first query. Now the second query is this is our second query. But before going into the query, we have to discuss about the predicates. That what do you mean by predicates? Okay, dear students, in XQuery language, predicate is basically used to limit the extracted data from XML documents. How? In this case, we want the books whose prices are less than 30. Okay, so what I'm doing, I am basically limiting the extracted data. I just want those books whose prices are less than 30. So this is the query. This whole statement is our query now. Doc, we have to use this function because we want to open this XML document, and then slash bookstore element, because this is the root node. Under this root node we have slash book element, and then this is our predicate. This red text is our predicate. Price less than 30. Dear students, this is our predicate because we want to limit the extracted data. We only want those books whose prices are less than 30. Now this is the result of the query. The name book category is children. The title of the book is Harry Potter. Author is J.K. Rowling. The year is 2005. In 2005, it was published. But what's the price? Look at this price. Price is less than 30. So for this purpose, if we want to limit the extracted data, we will use the predicates. Now, dear students, the next thing is what is flour? Actually, it's five things: F, L, W, O, and R. From F, we have our for clause, L, let clause, then W is where clause, O is order by clause, and R is return clause. But how we will pronounce this word? We will pronounce this word as flour. Okay, and it's an acronym for, let, where, order by, and return. Now, what's the advantage of this for clause? If it will select a sequence of nodes. Okay, and what's the advantage of let clause? Binds a sequence to a variable, and we will look at particular examples of all these classes. Why we use where clause? We already familiar with this where clause from SQL. It will filter the nodes, and the order by clause, it is used to sort the nodes whether in ascending or descending order. And what is the return clause? As its name suggests, what we want to return, so we will use the return clause for that purpose. Now, dear students, here if you look at the the question is how to select nodes from this XML document by using flour. Look at the path expression. We already we already dealt with this path expression. This whole is our query, and this is the path expression. Now what we want to do, we want to open this XML document with the help of doc function, and then we want to return the slash bookstore element, and under this element we want to return the book element, but we used the predicate here. We want to return those books whose prices are greater than 30, and we want to return the title of those books. Okay, so this is the complete path expression or complete query. Now what this query will do, it will return the title. As we said, the expression above, first of all it will select all the title elements under the book elements that are under the bookstore elements that have a price element with a value that is higher than 30. Okay, as I discussed here, that it will return those books title whose prices are greater than 30. Now we want to write this expression with the help of floor. So this is the query by using floor, and it will return the exactly same result as the previous path expression. So it means to say that whatever this path expression returns, this query, it will return the same result. But here what we are doing, we are using the floor expression. So we use the for clause, and then $x, this is the variable. Okay, and then the in expression, and then we use the doc function. So what's the execution now? What this doc function will do, it will open this XML document, and it will retrieve the books. Okay, and then the in expression, what's the advantage of this in expression, or what's the functionality of this in expression? In expression will retrieve each and every element from this path expression. Okay, so here in this case, this in expression, it will retrieve the book element, and then it will store these book elements in this variable, which is represented by $x. Okay, so now what we want to do, we want to, now in the where class we set a condition. We set what condition? Now in $x, this is our variable. Inside this variable, what we have all the books element, because a couple of minutes before I said that the in expression, it will retrieve each and every element, each and every item from here. So in this case, the book item will be retrieved, and then these items will be stored into this variable $x. Okay, now in this variable we have all the books element. So here by using where clause, we are setting a condition that whatever in this variable, now in this case we have book elements in this variable, we want the price element, and if the price is greater than 30, then what you have to do, return the books element, return the title of those books element. Let me explain the concept again, dear students. Now by using where clause, we are setting a condition that whatever inside this variable, so we are putting condition on price, that if price is greater than 30, then here we are returning the result. Then return whatever in this variable, return the title of whatever in this variable. So what it will return, this is our query. This whole thing is our query. Now this will be the result, X query kick start, because its price is greater than 30. And what we want to return, we want to return the title of the books. So look at this here, this query just returned the title, and the title of those books whose prices are greater than 30. So X query kick start, this is the title of the book, and this book price is greater than 30. The second title is Learning XML. This book price is also greater than 30, and it returns the title. Okay, so this is the complete query and the expected result. Now, dear students, enough for today's lecture. Rest of the queries and their expected result we will discuss in the next lecture. Thank you.